Hello everybody and welcome back to another Dragonblade guide. Today I'm going to be going over the quickest way to get wood. However, in order to do this you are going to need an iron hoe and some fruit. Now generally you want 50 to 100 of any fruit depending on how big of a wood harvest you want. Now the first step is to place a bunch of trees inside of a cluster as I'm doing now. It can be as tight as you want, the tighter the better because that's more wood you can fit. However, there is a max limit to how many trees you can have in your base. So generally you just want to plant up to the max limit. This process of planting can take 15 seconds to 2 minutes depending on how many trees you're planting or how fast you plant the trees. The more tight the cluster of trees you plant is, the better results, the faster you're going to be able to chop a bunch of these trees down. So if you're working for efficiency of chopping, I would just take an extra few seconds to make sure the trees are as tight as possible, and if you just are spamming like me, it saves you a little bit of extra time, but it also might take multiple swings with a dragon blade or another two-handed weapon to be able to chop these trees down. Now I'm going to skip ahead the rest of me planting the trees and just get to the part where I chop these all down. As you can see, I have finished planting. Now the next step you want to do is you want to chop all these trees down. Generally, the bigger the hitbox of the weapon is, the better result you'll have. So a weapon like a Dragon Blade will do really well, especially considering the fact that it one-shots. But if you don't have a Dragon Blade, I would just use a Great Axe or something that also has a big hitbox. So once you finish chopping all the trees down, you want to break all the logs so that way they're in the little log segments that you can pick up. This is going to take a few seconds. This whole process of chopping down trees and chopping them into logs doesn't really take that long, only like 15 seconds to a minute. Once you're done chopping down all the trees and chopping the logs into smaller pieces, you can start picking everything up. This strategy works better with the Dragon Pass because it allows you to get double the amount of fruit and double the amount of logs you would normally get. And it also stops you from losing any fruit because sometimes a plum tree or an apple tree might not have fruit on it when it spawns. The loss of fruit can make it a little harder to farm if you try and do it again. This strategy isn't really that good for farming fruit if you don't have the Dragon Pass. However, if you do have it, you can make a decent amount of fruit and you can make a bunch of extra logs you would if you didn't have the pass. Now, overall, the whole process of farming itself, once you finish picking up all the items, which is by far the longest part, can take about like 2 to 4 minutes depending on how long you take on doing some tasks. However, this is still far more efficient than the alternative, which is running from tree to tree, just chopping them down, since it does take time to run from tree to tree, and it also wastes stamina if you are actually running. Overall, the strategy does save you a lot of time and give you a decent yield of wood. As you can see, the strategy worked really well. I got about 150 logs and made just under 50 plums in the span of 3 minutes. Now, obviously, you'd make less than this if you didn't have the Dragon Pass, but it still works really well. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more guides like these, please like and subscribe, as it does help a lot. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next video.